ripple that goes out becomes clear, is going to the same direction. They're all headed towards the shore. The difference is that at some point the pond is filled with ripples, and that the very center, the smallest, tiniest ripple, are the ones that are the least awake. And so this is how it has always been. Now, what is happening is that some of those ripples that are moving out with the consciousness and with the understanding of consciousness is becoming stronger and stronger. So instead of the pebbles getting smaller and smaller, some of those pebbles that were dropped in ended up getting bigger and bigger. So there's been massive awakenings of consciousness, and when that happens, you see the world in a completely different way. And there has to be a time of chaos in order for our minds, our bodies, and our souls to adjust to that.
Yeah. What I was going to mention was I've noticed also a huge increase of, not only with myself, but a lot of different people with telepathic connections with each other. For example, my Japanese is not that great, and I was at a restaurant and I was trying to express something in Japanese. And before I was able to finish, the girl who also was in Japanese but didn't speak English, we were trying to talk, and she just knew what I was saying. So there was no language. She just knew and just answered the question, what I was trying to ask. And it's common to have that with, it happens a lot with my wife, but to have that happen with strangers is amazing.
Yep.
You're right. And that has been happening more and more on a much more consistent basis. And you will find, I'm sure not just for you, Ramon, but for all people, that the more connected you become within, the more that happens with the person, no matter who they are. It's an automatic. And it is because within ourselves, each individual has the capacity to connect into any other human being at any other time. It doesn't necessarily mean that you both have to be connected. It means that you do, Ramon. So good for you for connecting in and being so open and awake and aware. And there's senders and receivers, and it's a very beautiful dance to watch once you start to see the clues all around you for how our world actually exists. And I think the greatest one is connecting in with nature and watching and learning from nature with that same openness that you're talking about with the telepathy, because that is very, very, very strong in nature, all nature. And if you wanted to open up yourself further, Ramon, just go outside and start to have a conversation with a apple, or an ant, or a pet, even a pebble. It'll be fascinating, and it helps to strengthen your connection with human beings.
I just started to do that with my I just started growing a herb garden inside my house, so I started doing that with them, and I even have my wife talking to them. And we're taking care of them like it's our kids.
Beautiful. Very nice. And I'm glad to hear that you're growing something, because, of course, I keep telling everyone they need to get their heritage and heirloom seeds. And they need to do that as quickly as possible. And they need to prepare themselves for that, because, our world is a changing place. And with some of the earth changes that are coming and that have already made their presence known, it would be a good idea to be able to feed your family, and we can't do that with genetically modified seeds. So if you can get your
and they're still pretty easy to find on the internet right now. Last year I bought enough to plant a garden with, and just out of that, and it was just a little garden, 15 feet by like 30 feet long, and I generated enough seeds out of that little garden probably to plant a garden 10 times that size next year. So,
absolutely, and that's the whole point of it. Collect your seeds afterwards.
Yeah, especially the way they've been attacking on people who are trying to organically grow things and collect water. I just find it ridiculous that you're not allowed to do something that we've been doing.
Was that bill SR 510 or something like that they're trying to pass through here to make selling any organic, even to your neighbor, illegal. That's ridiculous. So.
Yes. Well, I think that's this is about a shift in consciousness, and the shift in consciousness goes in both directions. There's people who are going to become more radically attached to one idea or concept as opposed to another. And so even in this changing time with the opening of consciousness, it means that the gap is getting wider and wider in what we're seeing. I mean, to me, it's insane. It is pure insanity. But what's insane is that through controls like this, that the world's resources are not going to be kept balanced. And what we need to do is we need to find new ideas such as, earth domes and the collection of water and the protection of our waters on this earth, I think should be a primary focus for the entire people, every single life on this earth right now. Because our waters are drying up. And so, we have our seeds being destroyed for our foods. We have our waters being destroyed in all forms, whether it's fresh water or ocean waters, as we've seen with what happened with BP. And we need to start taking a closer look at ourselves within and take personal responsibility in our own lives. And through that comes the great gathering of humanity in coming together to be able to make these changes a reality and save what it is that we have left. The earth may continue, but the question is, what life will continue with it?
Mm-hmm. The one good thing I've noticed with these crazy laws is that the average person who would usually say, oh, you're into your conspiracies and crap and stuff like that, and are now, sending me Facebook like, oh, did you hear about this or did you hear about that? And it's almost like a backhand to their faces where it's shaking them up like, no, your reality is not what you thought it was. This is what's really happening. So I find that these crazy laws are actually helping to wake people up.
Well, I think that they are helping to wake people up, and one of the things that I try to explain to people that, I've had people around me for, forever saying that I was crazy, and what I know as the truth, there's still not a single human being alive that could tell me that, these ETs don't exist. I mean, I just simply, I find it irrational for them not to be able to at least, think about the possibilities of that. So I believe that it's important for us to be very gentle with those around us that are not as, quote, awake and aware as we are, and that what we need to do is we need to pay attention to, where they're at and really walk, through this life as an example. And that's how we show people what the reality actually is, when you become an example. When you say to someone, I've chosen to grow a garden today because of these laws, period. You don't have to explain anything. Hey, when they start learning about what those laws are, and you start giving them information a little bit, man, I'm telling you, people are going to jump all over it, and they're going to begin educating themselves. And that's through the process of being self-aware, to being spiritually aware of who you are. And spiritually means just whatever it is that you believe in, whether it be God or whether you're religious, spiritual, Buddhist, whatever the case may be, whatever your belief is.
Subtlety is our friend.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Go ahead. I just wanted to ask how much time we have left on the program.
Now,
that's funny because I was just about to say that.
Yeah. So actually, Miriam, if you've got anything that you would like to get out there besides your website and your book and such, any final statement?
I actually do. My website, the website that I have going right now is Blue Star Prophecy. bluestarprophecy.com. That's bluestarprophecy.com, and you can purchase a book through my website, which actually helps to support my work. You can also, there's a blog there that you may be interested in, and lots of information that I'm sure that your listeners will find interesting. Also, the website coming up is thegreatgathering.org. Please just keep checking back. We are trying to get it up as soon as possible. It is coming, believe me. Thegreatgathering.org. Just a matter of time. Check back once a week on that. I also wanted to let the listeners know, if there's anyone out there that's interested, that I have had a relationship with many people in Hopi, with the Hopi in Arizona, the Hopi Indians in Arizona. And that these people are very unique. It's a very unique group that's on the planet. They have one of the most talked about prophecies on the earth. Many of them, they're the most studied, sought after indigenous tribes on the planet. And they're also one of the most secretive. Their way of life is currently being threatened by people within their own nation to try and take away their rights to their religious way of life. And they are asking for help from the public in any way that they can offer. And one of the things that they need right now is funding for attorneys that they can hire in order to protect their traditional way of life that they have had for thousands and thousands of years. Anyone that goes to my website, if you click on the donate, there's a special button that's just for Hopi, and 100% of the donation that goes in through that button for the Hopi will go directly to the Hopi and to pay their attorney fees. So if anyone out there is interested in helping, please do so. If they have anything else that they wanted to donate, please feel free to contact me. But it's a very important issue because, it's important that we pay attention to the rights of all people and that we do not sit by idly and allow the rights of such a remarkable people to be squashed at the hands of the few for what I believe to be money. And I'm asking people to contribute to helping them. So I appreciate being on the show, and
thank you very much for being. So and if anybody would like some more information on what's going on there at the Hopi, with the Hopi, go to Miriam's Blue Star Prophecy website. She has quite a bit of information there. And you can read up, and she's got some videos there that you can watch and inform yourself on what's really going on there. It was quite eye-opening when I watched it the other day. So,
if you missed the website, you can also, when you go onto our webpage, just click on her picture, and it'll take you right to her website.
Well, thank you again, Miriam, and I want to thank everybody for listening. Also, Ramon and I work on a donation basis, too, so we got a donate tab on our website, and we've got some really good guests coming up here in the next couple of weeks, so everybody stay tuned and check us out every Wednesdays at 5, and what do you got, Ramon, anything else?
I was going to say to Miriam, thank you very much, and when the website comes up, please let us know so we can put a link onto our website and also rebook you again to talk. It was a great pleasure, and thank you so much.
Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you again sometime in dream, maybe.
Yeah, well, hopefully this one you'll be conscious of it.
Exactly.